Bismillahirrahmanirrahim wa bihi nasta'in. Welcome to my other lecture. This is lecture 8, and I wanna discuss on peer group, what's peer group in BGP, and what's the benefit of peer group, and how can we configure peer group in our BGP domain, and then we wanna configure in our practical lab as well. As you know that the peer group is used to assign some common policies and attributes, for example, such as path, source interfaces, passwords, versions, and so on multiple neighbors. And also peer group are defined to efficiently apply some policies on multiple neighbors. At the same time, peer groups are useful when many neighbors have the same outbound policies, and also a member have different inbound policies as well. Updates are generated on peer group once. And what's the benefit of peer group? Peer group reduces the amount of system resources like CPU and memory, and it's necessary in an update generation. In addition, a BGP peer group also simplifies the BGP configuration. This is also very important. So keep in mind that peer group, if you want to apply and define some policies on multiple neighbors, and also if you want to simplify the BGP configuration, and also if you want to reduce the system resources, at that time you can use from peer group. So how can we create a peer group? If you want to create a peer group, you can use from this command. Type neighbor and then peer group name, and after that add peer group command. If you want to apply this peer group to your neighbor, you can use from this command. Type neighbor, IP address of your neighbor, and then type your peer group name. So I'm coming to my topology, and this topology, these routers are connected with each other through these interfaces. For example, router 1 and router 2 is connected directly with serial 1/0 interfaces. Router 2 and router 3 is connected through serial 1/1 interfaces. The subnets for connectivity between these two pairs, router 1 and router 2, is 12, and the subnets for connecting router 2 with router 3 is 23. And I use IBGP with a spat of 55312. And also for reachability, the loopback interfaces between peers, I use OSPF as an IGP or Interior Gateway Protocol. And I have some tasks here. We should implement these tasks in this topology. What's the task? What's the first one? Configure peering between router 1, 2, and 3. We want to configure peer group between these peers. Peering to be established using loopback interfaces. Okay, as I mentioned before, that we want to create peer shape or neighbor shape based on my loopback interfaces. Loopback interfaces IPs 10, 20, and 30. These are the loopback interfaces IPs on my mentioned routers. And make sure that the authentication is established between all peers. And you can use from this password Cisco at 123. Also, you should implement authentication as well. As I configure authentication between peers in IBGP and EBGP in my previous videos, you can watch that video for that how can you configure authentication between neighbors. And the peering should establish only if both routers run or running BGP before or BGP version 4. Okay, this is the other policy, this is the other policy. Use the minimum commands possible on peer group. Okay. run OSPF, and also the last task is advertise only LAN network in BGP. What's the LAN network? The LAN network of router 1 is 192.168.0 and router 2 is 198.168.1 and router 3 is 192.168.2. Okay, so I'm coming to command line interface. The IPs are configured previously. Just I want to check the table. Okay, the IPs are pre-configured in the mentioned devices. This interface is belonging to my LAN 192.168.0 and this is connected with router 2 and I use 12 subnet and this is my loopback IP. Come to okay, router 2 as well. This is my LAN network and this is connected with router 1 and this is connected with router 3 and this is my loopback. Coming here, this is my LAN subnet or network ID. This is connected with router 2 based on serial 1/1 interface and this is my loopback. So I can ping my directly connected interfaces. For example, I want to ping 12. 12 that's directly connected with router 2. And also I want to ping router 3, which IP this service. That's directly connected with router 3. The reachability of these interfaces are succeeded, but I cannot ping my loopback interfaces. For example, I cannot ping 20 from router 1, 30 from router 1, and 10 from router 1 as well. So because we don't have routes between these routers and peers. So in this case, I should configure IGP or Interior Gateway Protocol OSPF. I run OSPF in this for this reason. So just I want to ping the loopback interface of router 2. I cannot reach that interface. If you want to check the router 3 interface, loopback interface, also I cannot reach that. So in this case, I want to run OSPF routing protocol. This is the process ID of OSPF routing protocol. As you can see in the task, configure IGP OSPF area 0 to provide reachability between loopback interfaces. Okay, so I'm coming here and add my subnets. Add wildcard mask, LAN interface, loopback interface. Done in router 1. I'm coming to router 2. Uh, 12 and 1. Okay, the BGP, the OSPF neighborship is established between router 1 and router 2. Okay. Done in router 2 as well. Coming to router 3. want to check the neighborship, OSPF neighborship between these routers. Show IP OSPF neighbor. Show IP OSPF neighbor. I have one neighbor. Y. Coming here. I have two neighbors, router 3 and router 1. I have one over here. Also, I want to check routing table as well. Okay. I have if you want to get more information, you can check routing table. I can reach this subnets because that is advertised through SPF. This subnets and also this. Okay, I wanna ping. Okay. Right now the loopback interfaces are reachable from router 1, and also if you wanna test from router 2 and router 3, the result is same as router 1. So the third task is to configure peering between these, to create peer group between these peers. At the first time, I want to configure BGP. Okay, as you can see, the task configure peering between router 1, 2, and 3. And also peering be established using loopback 0 interfaces. Okay, that's great. So come to router 1. Router, the peering is configured in BGP domain 55312. Type neighbor. Then if you want to get more information, add question mark here. In this case, if you want to create a neighborship, just add neighbor address. And if you want to create a peer group, in this case, add the peer group name. And if you want to add the IPv6 address, you can add the neighbor IPv6 address here. If you want to establish BGP through IPv6 address as well. So I'm coming here for creating peer group. At that time, I should add the name for that peer. So what's the name of peer group? You can add as your choice. So I'm adding Cisco here. Okay. So then add peer group. Then add peer group. Okay. If you want to get more information, you can add question mark as well. Okay, just these are a lot of commands and more commands. Just I wanna add peer group to configure peer group. So in this case, just I wanna add peer. Okay. The peer group is created by the name of Cisco. So what's this? The next task, peering to be established using the loopback 0 interfaces. So that's great. I'm coming here, just type neighbor, then add your peer group name Cisco, then add remote is, add your neighbor remote AS path here. All of them using one AS path because I want to configure IBGP. So add this one. Then as I mentioned for you before, peering to be established using loopback interfaces. So add update source loopback 0. Okay, that's very simple. Okay, so coming to router 2 as well, 55312, and also create a peer group. The peer group must be same on these peers. Then add peer group neighbor, add peer group remote AS, 55312. Okay, then neighbor Cisco update source loopback 0 came to router 3. Done in router 3 as well. Okay, router 1, router 2, and router 3. So what's the other task? Okay, configure peering between router 1, 2, and 3. That's configure. And also peering to be established using loopback interface, also done. And what's the other task? Okay, make sure that the authentication is established between all peers. And they should use password Cisco at 1, 2, 3. It's your choice. You can choose every kinds of password. I wanna create and establish authentication between peers and use this password. How can we configure this or add this policy in our peer group? That's very simple. Neighbor Cisco password Cisco at 1, 2, 3. In router 2 as well. Password, the password must match between peers. This task is also done. What's the other one? The peering should establish only if both our routers run BGP version 4. That's also very important. So come to router 1, type neighbor and peer group name version 4. In all routers, you should add this command. Done. What's the last task? This task is also pre-configured before, and use the minimum command as possible. Okay, advertise only LAN network in BGP. Okay, that's also great idea. Before that, uh, I wanna run the peer group command with my peers. How can we run this command? Which command? This command. This command. We create a peer group, also specify some policies to that peer group, authentication, password, update source, ASPath, and right now we wanna use this command. Okay, this command defines a template with parameters set for a group of neighbors instead of individually. We should use this command for this reason. Come here in router 1, type neighbor. What's your neighbor address? 20.1.1. After that, we don't need to add remote AS or password or a version. Okay, because all of these policies and commands are pre-configured in peer group. Which peer group? This peer group. The name of that peer group is Cisco. Just type peer group and add the name of peer group. Okay, because in this peer group all these policies and commands are pre-configured. After if you run this command, these policies and commands that you configured before in this peer group are implemented to this neighbor. Okay, that's very simple. Also, you can use this command with your other neighbor. Okay, come to router 2 as well. Neighbor 1 peer group. What's the name of peer group? Cisco. Neighbor peer group. What's the name of peer group? Cisco. Very simple. Come to router 3. Apply this peer group on your neighbor. Neighbor 10.1.1 peer group. Cisco. What's the other one? 20. Task is done. I created a peer group by the name of Cisco, and also I specified some policies, specify ASPAS, specify loopback interface as a BGP neighborship, specify authentication with this password, specify the BGP version. All these policies are specified and configured and implemented in this peer group. After that, I implement this peer group with my neighbors. In this case, all these policies are configured and implemented to these neighbors. Okay, right now the BGP neighbor come up with router 3 and router 2 as well. You can check the BGP neighbor. Show IP BGP. Sorry, show IP BGP summary. I have two neighbor. Okay, neighbor router 2 and router 3. These are the loopback IP of router 2 and router 2. BGP version of 4 is path, message send receive, uptime, non-downtime shows here, table version, prefix is not received here. Also, you can check here. Okay. Also, you can check here as sorry. If you check the BGP database table, I do not have any updates here because I did not advertise subnets or network IDs through BGP or in BGP. What's the last task? The last task is here, advertise only LAN network in BGP. That's very, very important. So I'm coming here. So what's my LAN interface? Show IP interface brief. That's 192.168.0.1. So coming here, router BGP 55312 network 192.168.0.0. Come to router 2 as well. Router do show IP brief. Was my LAN network ID this one? Router BGP 55312 network 192.168.1.0. Come to router 3. Show IP interface. Exclude and assign. Okay. BGP 55312 network 192.168.3.0. Right now you can check the BGP table. Okay. Right now I have two updates from router 1 and router 3. These updates are coming from this hub. The local preference. These are the attributes for influencing traffic. Okay. Local preferences 100. You can check in router 2 as well. This one and this one is coming from router 1 and router 2, 3. You can check routing table here as well. This one's come from router 2. I can ping these services as well. So this is the end of our lecture. Thank you for your watching. If you have any comments, please add on comments bar. And if you have any suggestion, you can add also. And please watch my videos and share it with your friends. Thank you for your watching. Allah Hafiz.